All right, so let's jump right in. What we're going to talk about today is this really revolutionary training philosophy. It actually comes from a book that was written for, the super elite athletes, the top tier coaches. But the ideas in it are they're so powerful, they apply to everyone. So we're going to break them down for anyone who's looking to just shatter their personal bests.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're putting in the work, you're being super consistent, but nothing. Your progress just flatlines. You've hit that dreaded plateau. Maybe you're stronger than you were, maybe you're faster, but it just feels like you've slammed into your genetic ceiling. But here's the question. What if that ceiling, what if that wall isn't even real?
And that leads us to this really core question the author asks. It kind of forces you to ignore all the typical answers, genetics, talent, and really ask what is the actual difference between someone who's good and someone who is truly great. And you know what's so cool about this? It's the sheer confidence in how the question is framed. This isn't just some philosophical thought experiment. The author basically says, I have the answer, and it's practical, it's real world. The whole idea of the book is that greatness, it's not some magic bullet. It's not about winning the genetic lottery. It's a system that anyone can learn and use. So where do we start? Well, according to the author, the very first step is to just throw out what you think you know about training. The book makes this really bold claim that our standard approach, that whole more is always better mindset, that's actually the problem. That's what's holding us back. And this really lays out the two different worlds, right? On the one side, you've got your traditional training. It's all about the muscle. Bigger muscles, more reps, more weight. But then you have this neurodynamics approach. And it's not focused on the muscle itself, but on the nervous system, the thing that tells the muscle what to do. It's a total shift in perspective, from more is better to smarter is better. So, what exactly is neurodynamics? The key idea here is that it's all about upgrading your body's software, not just the hardware. Think of it like this. Traditional training is like trying to make your car faster by just putting a bigger, heavier engine in it. Okay, that might work for a bit. But neurodynamics, that's like upgrading the car's computer. You're making the existing engine smarter, more efficient, and way more powerful without changing the hardware at all. Okay, so that sounds great, but how in the world do you actually train a nervous system? It's not like lifting a dumbbell, right? Well, it's definitely not a one-size-fits-all deal. The system breaks it down into 3 distinct modes of creating force, and each one hones in on a very specific type of performance. And these are the 3 pillars of the whole system. First up, you've got neuromagnitude. Think of this as pure absolute strength, your heaviest possible deadlift, right? That's magnitude. Then there's neurorate. This is all about speed, explosiveness, how fast you can react. And finally, we have neuroduration. This is your staying power, the ability to keep pushing, to hold that strength over time. It's your endurance.
So out of those 3, which one's the king? If you had to pick one, which one matters most? Well, the book doesn't hesitate. It makes this incredibly bold claim that neuromagnitude, your ability to generate maximum absolute force, is the foundation for everything. It's what makes you fast, it's what gives you endurance, it is the master quality.
Okay, so now we get to the really practical, hands-on part. This is the tool that you can actually use tomorrow. It's called autoregulatory training, or more simply, the drop-off method. And this is the secret sauce for designing the perfect workout for you on any given day. You know those workout programs that just say, do 5 sets of 5? Yeah, forget that. This method throws that idea out the window. It's all about letting your body, your nervous system really, tell you how much work is right for that specific day. It's this beautiful, self-regulating system that makes sure you never do too much, but you also never do too little. So how does it actually work in practice? It's surprisingly simple, just 4 steps. Step 1, you warm up and you establish your best lift or your fastest sprint for today, not last week, today. Step 2, you decide on a drop-off percentage, let's say 6%. Step 3, you just keep doing your sets, but you're watching your performance. The second it falls below that 94% mark, you move to step 4. You stop. That's it. Workout's done. You've just delivered the perfect dose of training for your body.
Let's look at this chart to make it super clear.
Imagine your best lift today is 100 kilos. We've set that 6% drop-off, so our stop signal is anything below 94 kilos. You see set 1 and 2 still at 100. Great. Set 3, 98. Still good. Set 4, 96. We're still above the line. But then look at set 5. You only manage 93 kilos. Boom! That's the signal. You're done. You just stimulated your nervous system perfectly without frying it.
Okay, so we've talked about the theory, we've talked about the practical method. So where does this all lead? What's the long-term payoff? Well, the claim is that this approach unlocks 3 very distinct stages of athletic development, stages that can take you way beyond what you thought was possible.
And here's the kicker. The book claims that almost every single athlete, from beginner to pro, gets stuck at the end of stage 1. They get stronger, for sure, but then they hit a brick wall. This neurodynamics approach, that's supposedly the key that unlocks the door to stages 2 and 3.
So everything kicks off with stage 1, exposure. This is the initial phase where your nervous system learns to just output more juice. Your strength goes through the roof. Like in this example, maybe your bench press for 6 reps doubles from 100 kilos to 200. Amazing, right? But this is the trap. This is where everyone gets stuck. You're stronger, yes, but there's a hidden cost. Your ability to repeat that effort, your work capacity, has actually dropped. You gas out way faster. And this is exactly where the real journey is supposed to begin.
Because that brings us to stage 2, transformation. And honestly, this is where the magic really happens. Your nervous system learns to become hyper-efficient. Notice, you're not lifting more weight yet, you're still at that 200 kilo mark. But now your body can handle that weight for set after set after set. Your work capacity just explodes. This is that critical phase of adaptation that most people's training just completely misses. And once your system gets that efficient,
you graduate to stage 3 proficiency. Now that you've built this massive foundation of efficiency, your absolute top-end strength can finally climb again, but this time to a whole new level. You're combining the huge work capacity from stage 2 with even more raw power. You're not just a 200 kilo lifter anymore, now you're pushing 275, and you can do it for volume. You've basically achieved the holy grail. You're unbelievably strong and unbelievably resilient.
And that really is the ultimate claim of this entire system. The author's point is that by training the nervous system intelligently, the limits we all think we have, they're not real. They're just suggestions. The potential for getting better is, as he puts it, practically endless. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. What if that plateau you've hit? What if it isn't the end of the road? What if it's just a signpost, telling you it's time to take a different path? What if you've spent all this time building up your engine, when the real power was in the supercomputer controlling it all along, just waiting for you to log in?